I'm Donald Wayne, and this is Trice Talk, live for a Sunday night, June the 27th, 2021. And yeah, we're still working through some stuff here. Hey, Dennis Lee.
Hey, Donald Wayne.
Well, no, that's actually mini pod music there, Just Duck. If that's usually what I use for mini pod, and since we're having so many other problems, I decided, yeah, there you go. Dennis,
Hey, Mike,
you're in
welcome.
the little
Eric,
circle,
welcome.
but I can't hear you. Let me check my other little source over here. I'm using a different Scarlett tonight, too, by the way. Oh, you dropped out. Hey, Mike, Tampa Bay, High History. Eric, welcome. Let me try Dennis Lee again. Are you in there this time?
Can you hear me, Donald Wayne?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, good.
You know, I can probably take ownership of the sound issues from last week, but I think you're dropping in and out. That's got to be something else.
Well, I just did this one manually to try and reset my connection because you couldn't hear me. So,
Oh, okay.
hey, BP.
Hey, VP. Yeah, we're. So you're saying that it still sounds like it's mono there, Dennis Lee? Is that what you're saying?
No, you sound better. You sound regular. It's just they're only through one side of the headphones. It's not in stereo. So,
Well, it's funny because I hear it's coming out of both of mine. So, I guess it's progress compared to Friday night, or Thursday night, I mean. What can I say? I still have, I sent Podbeam an email on Friday morning. I was too mad to send it on Thursday night and tired, and I haven't heard back from them yet, other than acknowledging the fact that they received my email.
hey, Mike, you hear it out of both sides?
You hearing out of both ears,
You're
Mike?
out of both.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Okay. Are you trying to lay some of your problems on me, Dennis Lee?
No, that's the last thing I'd want to do. About a layer, man.
Yeah, let's add that frustration to the. I don't know.
Let me change my headphones.
I did about at least a dozen tests since Thursday night. Oh my gosh, since Thursday night to tonight, and trying to figure out, what the deal was, and without any help from Podbeam. So we finally decided, well, let's just change the microphone. My engineer, who will remain nameless because he doesn't like for me to talk about him, shared a microphone, and I guess that part's working better than evidently. I hear a lot of rustling over there, Dennis Lee. What, are you still rustling? Wrestling? Oh, you got me cut off. All right. Anyway, I hope everybody has had a great weekend. I know there's the tragedy in Florida over the weekend. I actually haven't watched the news today, so I don't know if there's any update today. But weather-wise, we've been pretty good here in Georgia. I think it stormed up there around Robert over the weekend some, but I think everybody else is probably okay. Hey, Sarmenti. Welcome. Dennis Lee is still playing with his headset. So anyway, we kind of decided about 20 minutes ago we'd go ahead and try this. I mean, to do our Sunday night show, even though we probably haven't gotten all the problems worked out yet. But we're going to try to stumble through here and get as much of this done and catch up as we can, huh, Dennis Lee?
Indeed, indeed.
I mean, half the time it's comedy errors anyway, so it ought to sound normal, when things go wrong. Except Thursday night when, the sound was so messed up on my end. And I was all ready just to blame all of that on Podbeam, and it may not be all their fault. Obviously, they're still searching for an answer since they haven't answered me.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried because I'm plugged into my phone,
Yeah.
and I hear my Spotify through both ears, so I have no idea. It's all good. I hear you out of one ear, and that's all I need.
That's as long as you get me on one side, I guess that's okay, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well,
real quick, while we got I can only out of the left side of my headphones. So yeah, it's all good. That's it, Mike. I'm done with you.
well,
Oh, real quick, while everybody's on here,
get him some hearing aids or a hearing aid.
that's that'll be coming next. Let's get this out of the way, Donald Wayne.
Mm-hmm. Arriba!
Yes, it is Donald Wayne's birthday today. Go ahead and give yourself the clap, Donald Wayne.
I've done that.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, VP. I appreciate it. Thank you. Made it another year. What can I say?
Hold on, let me settle up with the boys here real quick before they. There you go. Mucho
Thanks, Jess.
appreciado. Gracias. Thank you, boys. Hey,
what
let's head on out there, would you?
A wonderful choice for you to pick there, Dennis Lee.
Well, we are from Texas, so
That's true.
that's the way it should be.
It's like back home.
Yeah,
when you go.
right.
When remember Pancho's restaurant in Texas?
Raise the flag and gag. That's what we used to say.
There was this. We talked about buffets last week before we had all the problems, and here we are talking about food again, Jess. But there's this buffet place in Texas for Mexican food, and yeah, Dennis Lee's right. So you get your stuff, you go to the table, and then they give you a little Mexican flag on your table, and you raise it when you need your server to come to the table. I wonder if they're still in business.
Oh, yeah, I think they made it through the pandemic. I mean, because they were quite economically priced there. I think it was like $10 a person for the buffet, and those sopapillas with honey.
Oh, I know. So that was your dessert, sopapillas and honey. And I know that may not sound good if you've never had them, but boy, they were good. Well, you want to hear something startling?
Yes.
When you were a child, you know how much it cost per person for the buffet?
$1.50.
Yeah, it was right at $1.50 a person.
There you go.
And you could all you wanted to eat. So.
Yeah. Well, you get sick once, and then after that, much like the COVID vaccine, you're immune to the food from that point forward, so you can go eat as much as you want.
Well, that was a big deal back then. I don't know that we have. I mean, some of the Mexican restaurants around Atlanta, they have buffets for lunch. What?
Yeah, I don't know that I would do that.
What?
Yeah.
I
don't know.
Mexican buffet?
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
Well, what's that one that we've been to over there on East-West Connector? Don't they have a buffet?
Not that I'm aware of, and if they did, I wouldn't partake in it.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I just don't do it. Yeah.
Hey,
Crazy, welcome.
I prefer to have my stuff, selected and brought to the table rather than
right.
Stand over somebody who's licking the salsa spoon and then putting it back in the dip.
Yeah, or licking their fingers after they stuck it in the refried beans.
Thanks, Eric. I appreciate it.
Just not going to work. Yes, Crazy. Good evening to you as well. Yeah, there's lots of stuff in the news, Donald Wayne. But what everybody want to know: how'd you celebrate your birthday today, Donald Wayne?
Like most people my age.
Whoa, this is a family show, Donald Wayne.
Well, you spend part of the day talking to people who haven't talked to you in 4 or 5 years, wishing you happy birthday.
Okay.
And then I sat down and got to watch movies all afternoon and didn't move. And the missus made fajitas for us, and that was good. And I actually got stuff for margaritas yesterday, but we didn't have margaritas today. So
no margaritas, huh?
They must be coming a little bit further. I mean, a little later down the road or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that might need to be a midweek kind of deal. I don't know.
Well, it depends on how this show goes tonight. I may have a margarita after the show.
Whoa, there you go.
Or I should have had one during the show. I didn't think about that.
Sunday Rita, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it was calm and it was nice. It was nice. I like it when I don't have to get out of my recliner, for a few hours and watch several movies that I haven't seen in a long time. It was nice. I actually watched the new zombie movie last night. We watched.
Oh, which one?
The Vegas zombie thing.
The Zombieland?
No.
Yeah. No, I know which one you're talking about. It's got what's his name from that sci-fi movie on there.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy.
The blue guy. No, is he
the blue guy?
Is he blue?
He actually had some cross words to say about the last Guardians movie and said he won't be doing any more of those because of them wanting him to do it shirtless. And he's like, my brain's up here.
Well, he's always shirtless.
Yeah, I don't know, but he's had some kind of, I don't know the details of it, but he put up a little bit of a stink about it.
Really?
And said he's not going to do any more of those. Yeah.
I mean, he's
apparently he doesn't need the money. So, yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. I guess he doesn't need the money as bad as everyone else. So,
I mean, that for a zombie movie, it was okay. It was a little slow getting started. I mean, he did a good job in there. He doesn't have a lot of personality. He's one of those guys that just he's there.
I'm surprised you were watching the zombie movie there, Donald Wayne.
Well, I've been wanting to watch it, and I thought, well, this is a good chance.
BP, we'll make sure to take note of that, sir, when the next opportunity arises.
You'll do what shirtless, BP?
Here we go. Oh boy, here we go.
You need to explain that for us.
Well, they ride bicycles in the nude up there, Donald Wayne. They might as well go shirtless too.
He's waiting for that event to come around in August.
I mean, really. That's right. Jess Duck's guessing just about anything.
She has your number, BP.
For people like the Old Man podcast, I don't know, Eric, if he's talked about that, but man, the Northwest is getting hammered by some record-breaking heat.
I saw that.
They said, Oregon on Sunday was at 110 degrees.
That's unheard of, isn't it?
Yeah. And then the capital city of Oregon, Salem, also recorded the highest temperature in history on Sunday at 112 degrees, breaking the mark by 4 degrees. Man. Seattle was at Tacoma International Airport on Sunday was at 101 in Seattle. That's the first time they've recorded 2 triple-digit days because they had them back-to-back since records began being kept in 1894.
I mean, it's I'm looking on my radar app, and I can get temperatures all across the country. It's 111 in Oregon right now, and also 108, 100, 911 in 2 places. That's crazy.
It is crazy, but it is still hotter on Uranus. I don't care what anybody says, however hot it gets here.
I
It is
really
still
thought
continue.
I thought I could go through my birthday without even seeing that word Uranus, but obviously
Shh, you won't.
that's
You won't
fine.
have to see it. You won't have to see it, but we had to.
Well, I should
We
hope
had to
not.
squeeze it in there.
No pun
I can't.
intended, right?
I
Oh.
can't. I can't be held accountable for what BP may send you. So, hey, that's funny because I hear the sounds and stuff you do in
Yeah.
both ears, but your voice is just in one. That's odd. Mm.
You hear the sounds in both ears, but the voice is in one. Well,
Yeah.
okay. At
It's
least
like
you
a
can hear
riddle.
me. Yeah,
That's all that matters.
And I didn't hear anything about Florida today. Did you listen to any of that today? I didn't watch any news today.
Yeah, there's still, I think they're up to about 9 people declared dead, and they still have dozens that haven't been accounted for. It's bad. It's a bad situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so sad.
Yeah, prayers definitely. And you know who had the nerve to sound off and talk a bunch of shit about the thing was China, was criticizing our slow response to the situation. I mean, what the
Slow.
hell do they even? Yeah, what do they have financial interests? Are we going to find out that they had some kind of financial interest in this certain development? What a
Wouldn't
bunch
that
of
be wild if
asses.
they own those 2 towers?
Oh, that would be wild.
I
That'd be
don't know
wild.
why anybody would even care if they I wouldn't give them the time of day to weigh in on anything.
No,
That's
I wouldn't
nuts.
either.
Um, yeah, I mean, you would think that buildings like that, I mean, I've never really thought about something like that size, something like that ever happening to it. But when I was in the apartment business, we had some buildings that were 8, 9. I think we had one that was like 15 stories. I was never very crazy about going up on those, but now that I think about it, but those in Florida, they're built to withstand hurricanes and things. It's just such an odd, awful thing.
Did you hear about the 77-year-old woman that woke up to find $1 billion in her checking account, Donald Wayne?
No, I
I've got
haven't.
a quick I got a quick clip from her.
This 77-year-old woman went to the bank and found out she had $1 billion in her checking account.
My balance showed I had all this money in it, and it terrified me. I thought, oh my God, I've got all this money, and it's not mine.
Julia Yankowski was trying to withdraw $20 from the Chase branch in Largo, Florida, when she found the mistake in her balance. It showed $999,985,855.94. $1 billion?
Almost $1 billion. It was a bunch of nines. I can't count that high. I've never had that kind of money.
Did you know right away it was a mistake?
Yes, right away.
Like the good citizen she is, Julia contacted the bank. What did you say to them when you called?
I said, I have all this money in my bank account. It's not mine, and I'd like for you to check it and find out what's going on.
The next time Julia looked, her checking account was down to where it was supposed to be, $10,000.
Hellfire.
So for one brief
She got
shining
$10,000 in her bank
found
account.
herself a
That's pretty good.
You're going to frame that receipt?
Yes, I am.
For one day, she was a billionaire. How about that?
Well,
Good for her to doing the right thing, though.
I've heard stories of people that find money in there that have been put in by mistake, and they try to spend some of it, and then the bank's always going to figure it out,
Yeah, I mean,
they're gonna come
but
for it.
what can they do? I guess obviously they're going to make you pay it back, but I mean,
Oh yeah.
you, I don't know what.
Well, the first
you
question
have
they're going
to
to
be-
ask you, what did you deposit that kind of money? Did
No,
you
but
think that was yours?
I had something I was working on, and apparently it looked like it came through. So,
I got paid
they
on
didn't
that
tell me
offshore
how
account.
much. Yeah, I've been working on this pyramid scheme. Apparently, it's finally paid off. I had to sell a lot of rolls of toilet paper to get to this amount. Oh, yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, that's crazy. Wake up and see that you got $1 billion in your account. Jeez.
I don't think I've ever had anybody make that kind of mistake in my bank account.
Yeah,
I've
yeah, the
never had any
chain letter finally
surprises.
paid off.
Oh yeah.
No, I never. Well, the only surprise that I've had is getting hacked into. I've been hacked into 2 different times. Hacked into my bank account. That's horrible. As you know, you definitely feel violated. That's for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you're in a special class if they hacked it. That means that you had enough. They wanted to get some of it.
No, they were mad. Like this poor woman here, they hacked into the wrong account. So, yeah, I thought you said he was going to have more money than this. So, they're like, hell, we're here. Let's go ahead and take it. So, jeez,
Yeah,
that's a
that would be a
mess.
surprise. But I've never.
Right, BP, exactly.
But you will suffer the consequences if you try to spend it. Even like
Yeah.
if they put, like I've heard of people being double paid on their Social Security checks or
Oh,
uh, income tax refunds or stuff like that, or they put
right.
an erroneous amount in your checking account by mistake. The IRS does. They'll come get it, and if you don't have it in there, they'll be seizing stuff.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's great. Yeah, well,
you can't
good
claim
luck with all
ignorance.
that. Good luck with that. I don't know
I
what
mean,
y'all are going to take, but
you can take your dog, your bird, your snake, whatever
have
you got.
have at it. Jeez. Do your best.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that, but bless her heart. I mean, at least she showed that she was an honest person, right?
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, you don't want that kind of karma coming after you. I mean, I would
Well,
hate to see what the karma looks like against $1 billion. That wouldn't be good. So,
yeah. Well, I don't think it'd take quite a few years to try to pay some of that back.
hmm. Mm-mm.
So I had some stuff from Thursday night, and I'm looking at some of this, and I don't know that I want to use it now. I had some had some
Oh,
audios. I mean, it's more about it's been in the news, and I didn't see anything. Well, of course, I didn't watch the news today, but in Loudoun County again, those people in Loudoun County, I think they're going to have an uprising. They seem to
oh,
be in the news 4 or 5 times a week.
an
Apparently,
insurrection. Yeah.
yeah, might. Well, Virginia's a Commonwealth anyway, so
Yeah.
maybe they'll have an insurrection. But yeah, they're upset about the critical race theory stuff that's going on there, and parents are. Last week they had what was it, 250 people I think show up at the meeting, or they had that many people. They had a number of people over 100 were scheduled to talk before the board, and the board shut them down after just I think 4 or 5 because they were all so angry and criticizing the board. The board decided they weren't going to hear anymore. Then the people got upset. The board walked out and they called the sheriff's department and told them that it was an unlawful assembly, and 2 people got arrested. So one of the guys looked like he should have been arrested. I don't know, it looked like he was about half nude, and I don't know what he was doing in the crowd, but one guy was an ex-military guy, and he was not giving them a hard time, but yeah, the board decided they didn't want to hear anymore. So I got a feeling those people in Virginia are going to be one of the strongest opponents to the critical race theory that's going on, being proposed for a lot of these schools, or being taught in a lot of these schools.
Hmm.
So I had a couple of audios, and really one of them was just about the people shouting and at the school board, and then the school board taking a vote to go ahead and adjourn the meeting because they didn't want to listen to them anymore. And then the people broke out into singing the Star Spangled Banner. And
Did they?
yeah. And somebody was saying, as they were panning the room with their phone, they were saying, "This is America. This is America," because they were singing the Star Spangled Banner. Patriotic.
Hmm.
So, but I'm not going to play those. That was 5 days ago now, I guess. I did see here a quick note that Derek Chauvin got sentenced on Friday. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he got sentenced.
22 and a half
He'll
years.
be, 22 and a half years, and that's with the time that he already served, 120 some odd days or whatever. But yeah, they actually thought he would get more, but he's in his 50s now, I think, or something
Is he in
like
his
that.
50s? This
Or in his
article doesn't
40s.
say.
He's in his 40s, so he'll be 60 something when he gets out. And he's got heart problems, which, look, it is what it is. I don't even think he'll make it out of prison.
Yeah, I don't
Look,
know
it's
where they can put him that he's going to be safe. They're going to have to keep him away from some groups of prisoners, or he won't make it very long.
well, it's the video is what it is.
It's that way with all police officers, I believe. They have a hard time putting them in with general population because
right.
no matter whether it's a situation like Derek Chauvin's or just a regular, somebody that busted a lot of people for drugs or something, they're not very popular.
I wouldn't think so. Yeah. But yeah, that definitely happened. So he probably won't make it very long.
I got one more little thing I can just let's see. Was it Friday that Kamala made it to El Paso, Texas, to see the border situation?
Yeah, she finally got down to the border.
To the border.
I actually got to watch a piece of that.
Did you?
Yeah, she was meeting with some religious leaders there and some local, other local leaders, and tried to quote some scripture and didn't do.
What in the world is she
I don't know.
quoting scripture for?
I don't know. She just seems in a lot of her interviews and stuff, she just doesn't seem to be very comfortable in that role at all. Just speaking, she just has this uncomfortability about her. I expected her to start doing that, cackling that she does at any moment, just because she's just so uneasy about what's going on. She just seemed out of place, But yeah, she did go visit the border finally after what it's been
90-something days, I believe it was.
Yeah. Well, way to be all over that since you're in charge of handling that. So,
but I understand that was on her way to California. She was going home to California too when that was her next stop, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
They said, but who would have thought that we would have a president and a vice president that really can't carry on a decent conversation in front of the American people? I mean, she's not any better about it than Biden is, except that she's at least coherent when she's talking. She just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Because somebody questioned her about, oh, you finally came to the border, and then she, went right back to him and said, I've been to the border. I've been to the border. Well, not as vice president, you haven't. But, everybody was giving her a hard time because she was so far away from any of the truly difficult situations that were occurring at the border. And I did watch a little bit of that on Saturday, and it's just like the numbers. I keep adding these numbers up in my head, and it's like, I mean, how many millions of people are going to end up in this country illegal this year because of this situation? And they're okay with that? Doesn't make sense to me.
No, it didn't make any sense.
And
But we knew it was going to be a train wreck with her when that all came together anyway. So.
Well, they were talking about it on Fox News the other night that, already the United States, now I'm not sure about last year, but because of the COVID restrictions and everything, but already the United States was allowing in about a million people a year legally, people who went through the legal process. So we already had immigration into the country around 1 million a year. And so we're going to add how many ever millions we end up with this year that's illegal. It was, and then I saw something today. I didn't watch the news, but I saw something when I was checking my email. It said a lot of illegals are hopping on a train and trying to come across the border illegally that way. So now they're having to check these trains out that come across from Mexico. I mean, it's...
Well, it's we're getting hit from all fronts. It's only going to be a matter of time. We've got that going on. We're dealing. China's starting to get more and more aggressive. Russia's starting to get more aggressive. We got to watch all the fronts right now.
Oh, the premise of this zombie movie last night. You said China made me think about this. All the experiments they're doing. The premise on this thing is our government. They were hauling this zombie creature that it appears was created in the lab or created by experiments in our country, and they were hauling it across country going to some military site. It crashed, the zombie got away, and then that's where the movie started. So when you said
anything I believe that anything you think of is totally possible with to a degree. They've already talked about cloning ancient warriors in China for their military, and I'm sure Russia's probably already been doing something like that. Now that they've completed the human DNA strand,
Thank you, Mike.
They'll be plugging in whatever they can. Oh, look at all that cake!
Yeah, that's great. Right. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that.
It's not too far off.
Yeah, this experimentation thing that's come to light since the COVID issue is kind of troubling because, we're supposed to trust our government, or especially foreign governments that hate us anyway, to be experimenting with these kinds of things. They talk about they can infect insects and release infected insects into a region to
that's what the Zika virus is. Remember when they were having the babies that were coming out with the really big, really tiny heads?
Right.
That's what the Zika virus was, a genetically altered mosquitoes to take care of the mosquito population, or take care of the diseases that the mosquitoes were carrying. And in essence, they created the Zika virus. So I'm sure this has been going on for quite some time, with all these different little human experiments outside the lab. So, yeah, I believe just about anything is possible. Didn't you had it on one of the shows we did about the human and the ape crossbreed embryo that lived for what, like 20, 21 days?
Was it that or hours? I don't remember. Yeah, and China.
It may have been hours. They've actually got reports of ears that they've grown on pigs and stuff like that to use to be replacement parts for humans. So, no telling what else they've grown. So,
well, I understand science trying to do things like that could help people. If they could grow organs and, I don't know, it seems extreme, but limbs. I can understand them researching that, but then it's like most things that the government tampers with. You never know what's going to come out of that.
Well, we weren't intended. Yeah, the guy who grew a penis right on his arm. Yeah, what? You remember that story, Donald Wayne?
What? No.
Yeah, he
I
did.
don't.
They
Y'all
they
are making
grew it.
this
They
up.
grew it. No, they grew it on his arm, and then they took it off and they put it, down there and surgically placed his his elbow penis on his, thing.
I hope
So,
he wore long sleeve shirts while that was going on.
well, I wouldn't go around shaking his hand.
So when did this unlikely story happen?
This has been I don't know. This has been probably a few years ago or so.
Really, I must have
But
been
yeah,
asleep
yeah.
during that time.
Now I haven't seen a picture of it, nor did I care to see a picture. But
And it was
it,
usable, you're saying.
it
It was functional, is
I
what you're
guess
saying.
he used it. Welcome, Q Bella. You came in at the right time.
Oh yeah.
We
And I
just
didn't start
passed
this
that.
conversation
So,
either.
yeah, no. Apparently he has. I don't know if he's had any children with it or anything, but
No, that would be
yeah.
okay. I don't even know I want to go any further with that
I don't think we should actually.
because it could get ugly.
Yeah, it's Donald Wayne's birthday. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
just
Yeah, well, it's not always the size, BP. It's what you
getting
do
what?
with it. Your
What does that
arm,
have to do with my
your arm,
birthday?
Donald Wayne.
Oh,
What's that?
what?
Your.
Well, they do say you get shorter as you get older. I every time I go, for my physical each year, I watch that measurement carefully to make sure I'm still the same height I was the last time I was there.
Okay, making sure you threw the height in there, Donald Wayne,
Yes, the
because
height. That's
from
the
what
only
we were
thing.
talking about, it sounded a
It's the
little
only thing they measure when you're
troubling
going for a
there.
physical, Dennis Lee, is your height.
Oh boy, I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
Did you hear about Bill Maher shredding the old woke culture? I'm convinced more and more that he's definitely turning into a right winger there.
I think I heard that he made some comments last week. He's more critical of liberals in Hollywood now and liberals in the country period, just about all this cancel culture stuff they've got going on. Yeah,
I got
he
a
may
quick
turn.
clip of it. I
Oh,
got
do
a
you?
quick clip of his rant there. If we want to throw it on there, Donald Wayne.
Is it one that we can listen to? Because I mean, he has to
I
be
think
edited sometimes.
it was on Fox News, so they should have it bleeped out.
Eric's trying to call in
Joining us
there.
now from New York, Kat Tipp of the Gutfeld Show and a host of Fox Nation. And Kat, what's your take on Bill Maher, who's been a big-time Democratic donor, scolding some of his fellow liberals for excessive wokeness?
Well, I think he's completely and absolutely right. And I have seen some pushback to what he said. I saw a piece in USA Today by Kirsten Power saying, actually, no, there isn't enough apologizing. And there's a difference between accountability and cancellation. And in theory, that could be true. But in practice, almost always what we see is the accountability that the mob demands is cancellation. And then so more and more people pile on, because if you don't pile on, then people will turn on you and say you're a racist, sexist, homophobe, etc.
How dare you not pile on? It's always
Right.
more interesting to me when a comic or a columnist or a commentator, at least occasionally, tries to take on those who would be the natural ideological allies. And Maher is right. We keep hearing from some of the voices on the left that things are horrible in this country, never been worse. And compared to the era of segregated schools, of no gay marriage, or people were going to jail for growing pot, the country is a lot more progressive, but maybe you're not allowed to say that for some reason?
Yeah, I really don't understand why, because factually it makes no sense. We have heard people repeatedly say it's worse than ever. Kevin Hart even saying white, supremacy is at an all-time high right now in this country. That is quite obviously not true. And that doesn't mean that everything's perfect. It doesn't mean that you can't still want things to change or talk about things changing. But again, progressive used to mean progress and allowing for progress. And it's the enemy of it in many cases, not just because it won't recognize the progress we've made already, but because how many times have we seen someone have a tweet from 10 years ago, and obviously they're a new person, maybe they were a teenager back then, and they have changed, but they're not allowed to have that progress. They're canceled anyway.
When I was growing up, there were no black news anchors on TV, and there were no leading black actors and entertainment shows and so forth. I've interviewed Bill Maher. He's a kind of an iconoclast. Do you think part of his motivation here is, I mean, obviously he's entertaining, he makes it funny and get ratings, but is he feels like a lot of this wokeness is hurting his side, making the liberal movement look bad?
I think that it absolutely is. I think it is certainly hurting his side because, look, all of us are human, right? And by definition, that means we're not perfect. So everyone has at some point said something that maybe wasn't the nicest thing or maybe was offensive. And if we really start to need to hold people to the standard of perfection, absolutely nobody is going to be able to meet that standard. So that's a really tough standard for the party to be setting for people in general.
Right, yeah. Perfection is a hard standard for any of us to meet, especially those who talk a lot on TV and eventually going to say something dumb.
Right.
Now, on a related subject, liberal writer Frank Bruni is giving up his New York Times column after 10 years. And he wrote this farewell column apologizing to Ted Cruz, among others, for cheap shots. He said he'd become part of the snide tide that Bruni himself had been.
Oh, anyway, I thought they were going to play Bill Maher on there, but yeah, he's, a lot of the liberals and some of the people on the left are like, finally, they're just like, enough is enough. We can't continue on with this woke culture, this cancel culture. It's good to be aware of your shortcomings and, maybe make some changes, but good Lord, this is going a little too far.
Yeah, everything is criticized. Every statement that comes out of a conservative's mouth in this country is criticized, and the excuse for everything that they don't like that conservatives say is based on either white supremacy or racism or homophobic. It's always something. It's never, just. And I think they say that, they use those terms because that is something that people hate to argue with, or at least they used to hate to argue back, because you don't want to get into that conversation. But I think more and more people are just fed up of being called names because they have a different opinion than a liberal has on certain things.
Right.
But yeah, Bill Maher, I think he's, and that's like I've said before, Leo Terrell. If you're a watcher of Fox News over the past several years, Leo Terrell used to come on, and he was a staunch liberal Democrat, and he hated Donald Trump, and it was always critical of everything that Donald Trump was doing. That was the first couple of years. And then slowly he kind of progressed, and finally he woke up and said, wait a minute, things are better here, for Black Americans and other minorities than it's been in years. And now he's a staunch conservative, and he says that Democrats are just trying to, keep people basically on the farm, as he says, and control them by giving them things. And if you think about it, they talk about Biden's popularity, and I hear, when I do venture to watch CBS or NBC for any reason, those news anchors there talk about Biden like he was, a gift from God, and they can't say anything bad about him. But what has he done other than spend a lot of money and give people a lot of money, or promises of money with the programs that they're doing? Other than that, what has he done? And
no, exactly.
And they don't know how they're going to pay for it, but they're going to keep giving it away. So,
hey, Slightly, if you'd like to call in and share your disdain for the Podbean group there, that'd be fine.
Is Slightly in there? Oh, hey, thanks.
Yeah,
Slightly.
he's been having issues with.
Happy birthday, Donald Wayne.
Thank you, Eric.
And the old man and Dina Joe will be, of course, singing happy birthday for you tomorrow.
Oh, well, that's sweet. Thank you.
Awesome.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, but you got some Stevie Wonder for your birthday.
I like Stevie Wonder, although he's probably a serious liberal too. But I don't hold that against him. I still like his music.
Yeah. How you doing, Eric?
I'm doing good. Well, I heard that y'all had technical issues on Thursday night, which unfortunately I missed, but Slightly had technical issues with Podbean call-ins 2 nights in a row, to the point now he's having to have Podbean friends either call in through the studio line or call in through Discord, or have me and Pertley call in through Zoom.
Jeez.
Thanks,
What
Mike.
a mess.
Well,
Yeah.
and not Torch. Dark Bear had some like echo issues with callers on his show Friday, when reason for him cutting it short by 1 hour.
I tried to do some mini pods, and I listened to them after I did them before I tried to post it, and I could hear the distortions, and I just got frustrated. And so this is the first time we've tried since Thursday night to do anything. It's ridiculous, and Podbeam still hadn't answered my request for any information about what might have been going on Thursday night. So,
and they might want to invest in a bigger server.
Or I don't know if any of the Podbean friends that were affected have thought about maybe doing some kind of like equipment test to just make sure it's not coming from their end, in order to confirm if Podbean is indeed the culprit.
well, I mean, I think, like I said at the beginning of the show, I did end up changing out the microphone here after playing with this thing last night and Friday and so forth, and so now everybody's telling me that part sounds better. So evidently I had an issue with the microphone, so maybe it wasn't Podbean's fault on Thursday. But Dennis Lee kept, what short time we were on, you dropped out, 4 or 5 times on Thursday, Dennis Lee?
I think more than that, yeah.
It was constant. He was having to come back in, and so that wasn't on my end. So I don't know. I did spend some time this weekend looking around, and
see, Cubella confirmed it. Okay, see, she says that she can, but Dennis I can hear in full stereo. So yeah, we can only hear you in the left ear, but they can hear me in both ears. Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't going crazy, and my headphones weren't really needing to be thrown out the window.
I've actually changed the Focusrite too, Dennis Lee. I've put back the original one that you and I used to use when we were doing the podcast here together, and which is the older one. It's 6 years old. But,
yeah, that's a generation 2.
Yeah, I was trying to find anything that would. So I don't know why you're not hearing me in stereo, but you normally heard me in stereo?
Yeah. I always hear you in both ears. Yeah.
I can hear y'all both in both ears, but with Dennis Lee, it's louder in my right ear than my left ear, and much like with Donna Wade, it's louder in my left ear than my right ear.
Yeah, but Dennis Lee likes the left ear. He favors the left ear, so.
Always have. Always have.
I don't know.
You know how big tech is censoring like voices of honesty and reason, and I think they're having a hard time like cracking down on podcasters. But and I think it's a lucky thing that this show and Tall Tales of the Rabbit Hole, John DeVito, Slightly Serious, the Old Man, and MikeTampaBay and Q-Bell and Torch and other friends are just scaring the bejesus out of them.
Well, if we can get one of these multi-billionaires to, come in with us Podbeaners and put a server in place that will accommodate all of our time, all of our airtime needs, and I think we can actually pull something off. We keep looking, and Podbean just has us at their mercy because nobody else has the flexibility that we have here. But it doesn't really matter if we can't come through the way we need to. Yeah.
Well, and then I think
we can do.
And Jeremy has looked at like Spotify's new livecast platform, Green Room, but I think they've got to finish building it up some more to accommodate users on Android and Apple devices, and hopefully also have a platform set up to where we could do livecast through like a web browser, like on a desktop or laptop, and also have the ability to automatically record livecasts and save them and have them published.
Torch, did that really just happen? Did that really just happen, Torch? What the hell?
where are you?
Torch, what part of the country are you at? What part of the country are you in, Torch?
He's down in Florida.
Florida?
Is he in Florida?
Freaking
Oh,
Tampa
my
Bay?
word.
Jeez, Mike, what's going on down there? I mean, you know, Florida's out of control. That's horrible.
Oh, wow, that's
It's
crazy.
nuts.
Jeez.
You know, I know me and Siley have had like the unfortunate experience of having his show kicked off of a couple other platforms because I think the real reason is that they don't like us speaking truth.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
But they're going to reap what they sow at the end of the day.
Yeah, it definitely can happen anywhere, Mike. It's concerning.
yeah, I'm surprised, and of course I haven't been to Tampa in years, but I always thought.
Hopefully, our good friends Robert and Laura show up to wish you happy birthday too, Donald Wayne. But I love it when Laura does her "What kind of show is this?"
Torch, are you making that up? You are making that up, Torch.
You're right about that slightly.
All right.
But I'm getting ready to drop off this call. But happy birthday again.
Well, thanks, Eric. I appreciate you calling in.
Thank you, Eric.
The birthday wishes.
Well, and hopefully LEJ and Crimson also send you some birthday wishes too.
Yeah, I haven't. Well, it's been a couple of weeks for both of them, I guess, really. So,
well, and those two ladies are a real treat to have on.
Yeah, they're probably resting. I think we wore them out the last time.
Well, and then you got the 4th of July next week too.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we got a long one coming up this weekend.
Would you explain that? Speak for yourself.
A long weekend, Donald Wayne.
And maybe keep it to yourself. I don't know.
I mean, I can't say anything here.
No,
anybody.
you can't. What's changed?
Yeah, a long weekend.
You think adding another year is going to matter?
No, not really. Yeah, it's time to shoot off the old bottle rockets coming up this weekend, or let somebody else shoot them off. Actually,
we are going to do them here at the complex again. The complex.
The compound.
Yeah, those of us in the group. No.
Easy there, Slyly.
Oh, well.
Hey, Sarmenti, welcome.
Okay, let me
Good to see you, sir.
Shut mine down for a minute, and y'all can talk about that. But the subdivision is going to do fireworks again this year, so I don't have to go anywhere.
Well, nice.
So, and they spent a good bit of money.
Nothing at all. Slightly, the longer the better, is what I say. So, if you can squeeze an extra one out of it, it's always a good deal. Yeah, it'd be nice. We're going to go away for this coming weekend. Old Callaway Gardens, they have a 4th of July spectacular. So
yeah,
we're the missus has got us a season pass, so we'll go down there and they have a beach down there and all that kind of stuff. So, ooh, Vegas. Oh, that's pretty cool. That'd be
Vegas.
That'd be a wild time. That'll almost.
Obviously,
like
hadn't
New
seen
Year's
that zombie movie there slightly. Zombies.
Yeah, watch
Vegas.
out for this. Watch out for the zombie hordes.
I mean that
hordes. That's HORDS.
Yeah. The beginning of that movie is the beginning of the movie as the virus spreads across Vegas is just wild. I mean, it shows.
And it's not the first time that's happened. To let everybody know.
What's that?
A virus spread through Vegas. Hey, welcome, Patty Wagon.
These fools came back.
What?
Are you still on
Oh
the
no.
street, Torch?
Yeah, I wouldn't be on. Ours goes home with the visitors too. That's right, slightly. The gift that keeps on giving. It's just not the coins that they get in their pockets. Um, Patty Wagon,
So Dennis Lee,
what
Paddy
would you like
Wagon
to
is
call in and talk about, Patty Wagon? You are a first time listener, it appears to be. So tell us what you'd like to talk about in the chat room, and we can anything and everything, my man. Okay, well, we are a non-explicit show, so we're able to. So our calling policy is we get to know you down in the chat, make sure we know what you want to talk about, and then you get about 3 minutes on the line, and we ask what you want to talk about because we don't need any verbal streakers. That causes a lot of confusion in the old editing department. And then we'll lower you back down in the chat gently and safely after about 3 minutes. So, yeah, well, that's right, slightly. Doesn't everybody? Yeah, Donald Wayne, it's he knows the rules. So you have your
All
finger
right.
on the button there, sir.
All right, Patty, we'll give this a go. You're
Well,
on
BP,
Trice Talk.
you were grandfathered in. Hey, Patty Wagon, welcome.
What's up, brothers?
How are you?
Good, man. How y'all doing?
We're
Good.
just
You
on
got
top of the world.
headphones on?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay.
We got some background music there, Patty Wagon.
Yeah, I
sorry.
think you had a party there.
I got the Luke Combs blasting. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Can you say what part of the country you're in, Patty Wagon?
Yeah. What part of the country are you at?
I live in Alabama.
Alabama. All right, next
Oh,
door.
wow.
We're in Georgia.
Yeah.
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Oh,
I
I've
have
been through there a
family
couple
in
of
Birmingham.
times.
Are you guys Braves fans?
Yes, actually.
One of us is.
Okay, well, that'll be my topic. How about them Braves?
How about them Braves? How about them Braves? That's what I say every year. How about them Braves?
Yeah, I've been a Braves fan for all my life. I'm only 26, but I get big hopes every year. Even the year that Chipper Jones retired and the infield fly rule kind of screwed him, and the pitching against, was it 2 years ago, the Cardinals, when they blew us out, and it sucks, man, especially this year where we think we got a team.
Right. We're gonna have to. I mean,
before.
We still got a good chunk of the season left. So
yeah. But like with the trade deadline coming up, and I'm like, we can still make moves. We still got a bunch of guys getting hurt for dumb reason. You got Yosker Yanoa punching the bench because he had a bad outing. Marcell Ozuna beating his wife. Like we got like a bunch of issues. Like with the injury bug, it's meant for the Braves.
Yeah.
But how about Roll Tide? How about that?
All right.
Oh,
yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, my wife.
Nothing wrong. Yeah, no, it's Roll Tide in the Donald Wayne household. So
my dad lived in Alabama when he was alive. It was in Tuscaloosa, as a matter of fact. But yeah, I became a Tide fan many years ago, and I always had fun. And just Nick Saban is one of the best.
Yeah, I wasn't born a Tide fan. I was born and raised in California, and I didn't care about college football until I moved out here. When I lived in California, I was actually an Ohio State fan.
Yeah.
Because of one of my favorite players. I'm a Packers fan as well. He played for Ohio State. His name was A.J. Hawk. He played middle linebacker for them, so I liked Ohio State. And then when I moved to Alabama, I was like, now I'm an Alabama fan, plus Ohio State. And then Alabama played Ohio State in the playoffs, or before there was a playoffs, it was like 2012, 2013. Like, you got to choose one. And I was like, well, since I live in Alabama, I'm going to choose Alabama, and they lost.
Well, at least, like slightly said, at least you were able to get out of California.
Yeah.
So you made it out of there.
Before the mass exodus.
Yeah.
At least you're not an Auburn fan. Although I think Cummings is an Auburn fan, isn't he? Does anybody? Do you know that, Dennis Lee? I think.
I don't know.
I thought Cummings has said before something about being an Auburn fan.
I'm a Longhorns fan and a Cowboy fan, so I've suffered dearly for a great many years. So,
well, I still had the next year where during the Iron Bowl, Auburn beat Alabama with the kick six.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I chose the wrong team.
Well, it's bound to happen eventually. So, but yeah, Alabama's got a hell of a program. And they have for a long time.
Before all this, they were terrible. They're like, Alabama hasn't been like this, and I'm like, I know, but ever since I came into paying attention to the program, they've been great. So, like, I'm gonna enjoy it while we got it.
Yeah.
Well, and actually, it could be. I mean, look, there's a lot of superstition that plays into sports. So you could be onto something there, Patty Wagon. When you started listening to them and following them, and they started doing well, could you be interested in the Cowboys by any chance? We'd appreciate you.
We need some support.
You want me to hang up the call now or later?
But what you say about Dallas.
I do follow the Cowboys though, because I've met Dak Prescott a couple of times. I used to work at Mississippi State.
Nice.
Yeah, he's not what they got him on the depth chart, like 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah.
He's not 6'2". This guy's about 6'5" and bald, but I'm 6'2", and this guy looked down upon me, and I was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" Trying to shake his hand, and this guy in a suit on the elevator slapped my hand away, and I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry." It was when they were they were coming into being ranked number 2, and Alabama came in and whooped their butts and everything, and I was like, okay, But Mississippi State baseball is going very well. But that's the only thing I think I can go for Mississippi State. Dak Prescott. I think Vic Ballard used to play. I don't know if you guys know who Vic Ballard is. He used to play running back for the Colts.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple of guys from Mississippi State. But other than that, I don't know if you've ever been out to Starkville, Mississippi. It's a crap town. It's one of the worst SEC college towns that you could visit.
No, I have not.
No.
With that gleaming recommendation, I will steer clear of that part of the country. So
the only time people come there is during college football season.
Oh, okay.
It's not like, Tuscaloosa, people live there all the time, and it's not just like a booming town without college football. It's people naturally live there. Just like any SEC town, but Starkville, Mississippi is not a place you want to go if you guys are big college football fans and want to tour every town. The stadium is beautiful because they're building on. But other than that, it's a crap town. They got a bowling alley and I think one Walmart, and it's not even a super Walmart.
Oh, well, they don't have a super Walmart. If they don't have a super Walmart, they don't really even qualify as a town.
It's like a population of maybe 30,000.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to start somewhere, I guess. So.
Yeah.
Well, Patty, it was Patty Wagon. It was sure nice to have you on the line.
Yeah, we appreciate you calling in, Patty Wagon.
Yeah, definitely welcome to call back anytime, brother.
Y'all kicking me off already? Okay.
Well, don't put it that way. It sounds kind of awful, but no, we just kind of got limited time.
All right, brothers. It's nice talking to you, man.
Good talking to you.
I'm going to hang up and give you guys both the follow. If you guys ever want to talk about college sports or any sports, let me know. I'll hop on the line.
All right.
Sounds great. Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Y'all have a good one.
All right, you too. You too. Give Patty Wagon the clap there, Donald Wayne.
Clap.
First time caller. Yeah, well, I mean, we give everybody else a clap. Why should he be any different? There you go. Very good.
You just love to give that around, don't you?
It makes me feel warm and fuzzy when someone gets a clap.
Call you the clap master, Dennis Lee, the clap master.
I know it's hard for me too, Patty Wagon. So it's really hard for me to do that, but I promised Donald Wayne that I'll behave when I'm on here. So, Jess Duck, I'm sorry. I thought I gave you the name of a good doctor. I'll have to put that down in the chat.
No more clap for Jess. I mean,
there is some. I think it's you can get overclapped. So
we get overclapped. Overclapped? Is that what you said? Is that like an overbite?
Hi. Make sure to try the meatloaf. We'll be here all week. Yeah. Well, BP, you would.
Pot pies. You like pot pies?
You like pot pies?
Yeah.
Do you like chicken? You know that report, that scathing report from the UFO department out of the government finally came out there.
Scathing.
On Friday. Well, not really scathing. Scales. Tip your waiter. That's right. That's right. Not all drinks contain alcohol. Yeah, there's they actually, and this is an article put out by CNN, but it has some of the top 8 of the key takeaways from the report. So I won't be back.
Yes.
Thanks, Crazy. Thanks for being here. Have a good one down there in the bayou.
Born on the bayou. We need a little Christmas music to go with that.
Got old LSU down there in the house.
I like LSU.
Got a strong team. I like LSU too. I like the way your coach talks too. I mean,
he's not
hell of a coach.
He's not that well liked by a lot of people.
Well, apparently they're getting things done, so that's all that matters at the end of the day. They got 8 things that they took away from that report, and one of them was that they said the analysis of the data supports the construct that if and when individual UAP incidents are resolved, they will fall into one of 5 potential explanatory categories: airborne clutter, natural atmospheric phenomena, a USG or U.S. industry developmental programs, foreign adversary systems, and a catch-all system, which is called other. I mean, come on. We've been tracking UFOs since the 50s, and this is all they've got. And then call back in about old Ed. And then number 2 was, after carefully considering the information, the UAPTF focused on reports that involved UAP largely witnessed firsthand by military aviators and that were collected from systems we consider to be reliable. So that means that the bulk of what they've put in these reports was all from military personnel. So you can imagine how many other civilian reports there are. 10:30. And number 3, no standardized. Whoa, what happened, Donald Wayne?
We got invaded.
Did we? Did we?
Yeah.
Time for a new
something came in the window.
Oh, good Lord. It's not one of those bald eagles.
It's an Uber.
Say, Sarmenti, welcome back. They said there were 144 reports originated from USG sources. Of those 80 reports involved observation with multiple sensors. So it just, the report doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, basically. And they've been building it up, and then they let it out, and for one thing, it's it's only a 9-page report. They've had all this build up this summer, and it's only 9 pages. Hey, welcome, Jill. Welcome, Sarmente.
Hey, Jill.
So I mean, I don't know. It really didn't explain a whole lot of anything. It just really broke it down that they're tracking it. They've got a new way of cataloging it that got enacted here in 2020, and they're on it. And they feel like it's something that our current military technology cannot defend against. There's another report that came out. So.
Oh, that's.
I don't know.
That's depressing.
Well, yeah, right. It's like, well, I don't know what it is, but we ain't going to be able to defend against it.
This is going to be acceptable losses if we have to nuke this area.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what else to do, so we're giving you 24-hour notice to vacate the state, and we're going to have to drop nukes accordingly. Yeah, I watched, speaking of nukes, I watched a movie over the weekend. It's got Steve Carell about they're waiting for the end of the earth. There's an asteroid coming, finding a friend for the end of the earth, the end of the world or something. Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
It's interesting that they tried to do the old Armageddon thing to this asteroid, and they couldn't. They were unsuccessful, so they're like, well, it's going to hit us. And it's just total chaos all over the world. Every law and order's broken down, not much unlike what happened last year. And it's just total chaos. It's funny. You need to watch it if you haven't seen it. Because you think about, what would we actually do? Well, I mean, it would be utter chaos. There you go, Mike. You can't go wrong with that.
What's that?
Yeah, a prayer, dropping a prayer.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you, Sarmente. I'm with you on that.
BP, I have not opened email until right before the show, and I did see that there, and that's what happened a minute ago when you heard all that noise. I was opening your email, and it immediately started, so I had to shut it off. I did not. I will look at it, and we can talk about it on Tuesday. BP sent an email with an attachment, and that's what you heard a minute ago. And I couldn't get to the button to cut the sound.
Oh, is that what the ding was there?
Yeah. BP,
that was a pretty big ding.
I was trying to look at that email that he sent, and it has an attachment that makes noise.
Oh, must have been a big one.
Well, we
interesting.
Didn't have time to check and see, but
yeah, I'm with you. Just Bruce Willis. I mean, he's they just don't blow up asteroids like they used to. He's going to take one for the team. That was sad when that happened. All that flashbacks. Yeah, very well done movie. I bet, BP. You cried, just I hear you.
Well, it was meant to be a tearful moment.
Who's cutting the onions? I mean, this is horrible.
Of course, do we want to give the ending away to people that haven't seen that movie? What is it, 20 years old now? It's probably
who cut the cheese and the onions? That's right, Mike. Yeah, if you haven't, see that movie, and so we haven't given away too much of it.
Did I lose you? You still there? What in the world?
That was a simulation of an asteroid passing by Uranus. That they have a satellite that circles around that part of the
I can promise
solar
you it'd be
system.
a different noise altogether. So did you happen to notice that Supreme Court case that was decided end of last week about the a student who didn't make the cheerleading squad, and she got on social media and did all the F-bombs about this, the different people, and, she was very upset that she didn't make the squad. And so the school was, I don't know if they were suing her, but obviously they had some kind of lawsuit against her, and basically the Supreme Court decided in her case that what she did, she had the right to use whatever language she wanted to use on social media. But the only thing the Supreme Court did say is that school administrators do have a right to punish, or the power to punish, students' speech when it occurs online or off campus if it disrupts classroom study. Who in the world, that leaves that up to a lot of interpretation. But they basically said what she did not violate any school policy, and so the school couldn't punish her for that. Yeah, they were upset because she was effing this and effing that about different people involved in the choosing of the cheerleaders for the squad and so forth. Very upset, and very, very. I have not seen it online. I've read the articles about it. Though it's F the school, F the cheerleaders, F everything. She says. She posted of herself and a friend flipping the bird to the cameras along with the messages. F the school. And I think she was 14 years old when she did that. Mom and Dad pretty liberal about that, I guess, huh?
Well, we're proud of her.
Yeah, she stood up for herself.
Old Jamie Lynn stood up for herself. We told her we didn't think those nudes were going to hurt her later on in life, but they say everything in the internet is there forever. We don't know. Geez, come on, people.
Well, they can't say that everything. If you're going to let people have free speech, and as long as they don't do something liable, tell lies about you or disparage a system, where it's not true, I don't see how schools can step in and try to punish the students for that. Most people probably wouldn't do what she did, but especially, I know what would have happened to me if that had been, if I'd done that years ago when I was in high school and we had that capability. I would have been in trouble at home for sure for using that language. 14 years old. All right. Boy, she's going to be a handful.
Yes,
says the Supreme Court says if today's decision teaches any lesson, it must be that the regulation of many types of off-premises student speech raises serious Fifth Amendment concerns, and school officials should proceed cautiously before venturing into this territory. Yeah, that's right. You can't start regulating what people do when they're not in your environment. If they're not at school and causing disruptions at school, it's the school doesn't have any business stepping in there and trying to punish somebody for saying something outside of school grounds. Unless, they're making up lies about teachers or the principal or something that could cause somebody professional harm.
Kind of like, being outside of work. What you do outside of work is your own business unless you drag work into it.
Right.
Then they are allowed to retort and react any way that they deem necessary.
And it may not be a wise thing to be saying real derogatory things about your employment unless you're ready to get a new job. But you certainly have a right to do it in this country.
Yeah, you're right, Siley. You're a representative of that place that you do work at. So, there's a certain degree of responsibility how you carry yourself outside there, unless you go incognito and nobody knows you work for said place. But if you incite their name into anything that you may be doing, then, you give them a blank check to do whatever. So just say you may get a talking to when you come back to work. So, James, like to throw the middle finger around while chanting our name. Yeah, it's great that you put that on LinkedIn. Good thing you'll be you're already active on there because you're fired. Yeah.
One other quick thing about Georgia before I forget about it. I don't know if everybody's aware, but Department of Justice is suing the state of Georgia because of our the election laws that we adopted earlier this year, back into March. So yeah, they're pursuing Georgia now. I don't know what that means or what they're going to do about it, but they're hot after taking Georgia to court over the new election laws here in the state.
Nothing like a good old lawsuit.
Which you don't want to get me on that food rampage again. Somebody brought that up today when I was talking, a family member, when I was talking to him about, the Department of Justice is suing Georgia over that law. And then I said, I got onto the food thing about handing people food in line. And Biden even made a point of that again the other day about, that's racially motivated.
Did he whisper about it? And they go, what I've done? I've given everybody pimento cheese sandwiches while they're waiting in line because I'm Biden. That's what I do. Do you hear him whispering at these press conferences?
I did.
The hell is wrong with him other than the obvious? Jeez.
I don't think he was whispering about Georgia, but...
No, but he's whispering, he's just like going on a rant, but he's whispering. I don't know.
There's no...
Oh, we had hot dogs today. Very, very good.
Hot dogs.
Slightly was showing his weenie on there. Okay. I know Biden is off his rocker. Look, Eric had one too. It's going around.
Well, I tell you what, Dennis Lee, if they make Georgia do away with that section of the voting law and they say people have a right to give them food, you and I need to get our little food truck going, and we'll just next election cycle we'll be out there. We'll be out there passing out the hot dogs.
I'm gonna get the mariachi band and we'll do the nacho truck. That's all we need.
All right,
nachos and burritos. That's all you need.
Yeah, Dennis Lee and I were talking about getting a food truck a couple of years ago and doing nachos and going around the country and spreading.
People love nachos.
I know, and the mariachi band, or we'd probably have to use recorded music because it'd be expensive to carry musicians.
It would be. And we wouldn't have to serve alcohol. We'd just be next door to the alcohol vendor and, we get half drunk and eat up some nachos. I mean, everybody loves them.
Speaking of alcohol.
Chili cheese dogs.
Did you see the story about in Mexico?
That's a good one, slightly. That's a good one. No. Which one?
Some people are getting sick, and I think some have died in Mexico because they're accusing some of the resorts of cutting their real alcohol with stuff like rubbing alcohol or.
Oh well, that actually started getting in the news a couple of years ago when they had a couple die from down in it was Cancun or something like that.
Yeah, it was around the Cancun area.
Yeah. So that started back a couple of years ago.
Well, it's back in the news again, and there's more people that are being affected by it now. So they're warning people to be careful. What they're advising people to make sure they can see the bottle that the bartenders are pouring out of. But that doesn't mean anything. You can go refill a bottle with anything you want.
Oh yeah. I don't know. As you go and pay for a resort, I would be okay down at the open, down at the bar. But I don't know that I'd be drinking the liquor that's in the room. So, that's troubling. You're supposed to be going down there to be able to have a good time, and they're going to poison you. Sherbet. Everybody loves sherbet.
They're saying because alcohol's so expensive right now. Actually, I didn't think it was that. I mean, we went to the liquor store yesterday to get the tequila and some vodka and mixings, and I didn't think it was expensive at all. Yeah, it's just
welcome her wokeness.
could
Um,
have had a nice little party today if we'd
yeah, I mean,
been in the mood.
I picked a bottle of bourbon about a week or so ago, and it didn't seem any more expensive than usual. So I don't know.
Yeah, we still got Elijah over here waiting on you when you come back.
Oh man, there we go.
when we do our next Facebook attempt.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Well, that was just random stuff that filtered through my head as. Was that all you had on that? Did you? And he drops out of there. All right. See?
That was me. That was me. I was actually trying to mute myself. Sorry.
You did what to yourself?
I was trying to mutate myself.
Oh. I thought you said you mutilated yourself.
No, not lately. Not lately. Hey, James, welcome to the show.
Let's see. Is there anything else newsworthy that we can hit here before?
Nothing earth-shattering that I have. Slightly put on there about Trudeau's Bill C-36. Have you looked into that at all, Donald Wayne?
Bill C-36. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know what that is.
We'll have to take a look at that there slightly.
Trudeau has done that?
Yeah. Hey, welcome to FSTZ 77.
Welcome. Here are my thoughts on C-36. I wished I had some thoughts on it slightly. Like I said, I've been kind of hadn't done much this weekend.
If you have thoughts of hate, how do they know if you have a thought of hate? Defines hate speech as content that expresses detestation or vilification of a person or group. And this includes over the internet. Oh, so you can be arrested if you express hatred for a group or anyone on the internet in Canada. Is that correct? Wow, that's and look, and then you got people who say burn the American flag. I hate America. Well, you know what? Take your ass up to Canada. Nothing against our Canadian brothers and sisters. We love you. We hate that you have to go through something like that. I mean, look, it's crazy here too, but I wouldn't trade to go to some of these other countries who've got it a lot worse. So, but yeah, to Slightly's comment earlier too, especially with the Olympics, going to have people burning, denouncing America while they're there participating, representing their country. That's great. It's really great.
So I'm looking at this here, and I'm not sure if C-36. That's what you said.
Yes.
It's an amendment to amend the Criminal Code of Human Rights Act to make related amendments to another act: hate propaganda, hate crimes, and hate speech. What is hate speech? I mean, is it the same for everybody? I mean, there's certain things that you can say there's no question that's hate speech. But.
So what if someone goes on the internet and just goes off on like a tomato? I hate tomatoes and I effing this and just went off on tomatoes. Would that qualify? And they could come after you. I'm not saying anything, for people who like tomatoes, I actually like them. But that would be horrible. How did you land in here? Well, I said F the old tomato, and here I am. So
all it does, C-36, is it says it criminalizes feelings. I guess that's the problem here. How do you can't
tomato
control
lives matter.
People's feelings.
Oh my God, that's great, BP. We should get a shirt made up. Yeah, I don't know. It's getting really ridiculous. I don't know where we started getting so politically correct and so fragile as a society, but I feel like it started happening back in 2000 and just kept getting worse and worse. Then we had the apology tour back in, oh 08, oh 09, and it's just been going to hell ever since then. I was hopeful these last 4 years, but no, it's getting worse and worse and worse.
Well, I think Trump's period of time in office made everything escalate. It gave them more fuel and more reasons to want to criticize everything and make everything a crime that they don't agree with. But that's awful risky when you start criminalizing feelings, because you don't have a lot of. I mean, unless they act on them. I mean, that's almost like that Tom Cruise movie, the law enforcement in the future.
Yeah.
They had the little balls come down and
I
say,
beg your pardon.
So and so is going to commit a crime. The balls drop.
I don't know anything about Tom Cruise. Is that Eyes Wide Shut? Was that what that was? I think they had some balls drop on that movie. I don't know.
I can't remember the name of that movie. I'm sure somebody in here remembers the name of that movie.
Something Report. Minority Report.
They were
Minority Report.
Minority Report. Thank you. But they were basically punishing people for things, that thoughts may be going through their head, or the possibility that they may do a crime, commit a crime. So, I don't know. That's kind of odd. Why in the world is Canada getting in on that? I thought they were a little bit more liberal than our liberals.
I don't know. It's
Are the liberals moving to Canada? Is that what?
Well, they may be. Maybe. I don't know. Are they even letting us go back into Canada right now? Have they eased up on that with the whole COVID restrictions?
I heard that we could go into Canada.
Okay.
Last week.
Yeah, they have socialized medicine. So, unfortunately, if you get into a situation where you need urgent care, you may have to get out of Canada to get it done. But I don't know.
So they have a Canadian anti-hate network, it says here in this article.
Anti-hate network.
That's what it says on this. From this site's called Rebel News. I'm not quite sure who in the world these people are.
So if you were out in public at a restaurant having a conversation at a bar, maybe with your friend or your family member or something, and just like if you actually said the word hate, would they have the hate police in there to just snatch you up? I hate this beer. It's horrible.
Well, I would hope it would be more against individuals or organizations or something, if you say you hate some lawmaker, or you hate the bar owner, or you hate somebody, in real life, that they can consider that to be a danger, or I don't know. I have to look at that a little bit more before Tuesday.
Yeah.
This article is just a little vague.
Yeah, I got something they can get. Something they can hate on, that's for sure. But yeah, that'll be interesting. Yeah, we'll have to look into that to bring that up on the next show, like you said, Donald Wayne.
It says it's only 26 pages. Well, that's far better than the idiots in our country do on a bill. They've got to do 3,000 and 4,000 page bills here, so they have an excuse not to read it.
Yeah, but we've only got 9 pages on our UFO report and stuff they've been tracking since the 40s. So go figure. I don't know. Yeah.
It's, Trudeau didn't like Trump either, did he?
No, he wasn't a Trump fan.
Yeah. Well, they ought to love Biden.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to look at that. See if I can talk intelligently on it on Tuesday night. Let me say, Dennis Lee, I was talking to my brother today, and I'd said something to him. I said, "So you've never called in. He's listened to our podcast, but he's never tried to call in or
Yeah.
anything. And he was telling me, he said, Don, you need a redneck to call in to your show. And I said, well, go ahead, call in. So, but I don't know if he will. Said you need a redneck point of view.
A redneck point of view. Okay. Well, yeah.
Well, up there in North Georgia.
Well,
Western
we
Georgia.
can't relate to rednecks.
I had a
Yeah, right. Slightly, isn't that hate speech? We're gonna get an email from Canada. We heard you say redneck on your show. Yeah.
It depends on whether you're calling.
Yeah, you're not likely to get an email from Podbean anytime soon.
I just happen to think, has anybody seen a post from Torch lately? Since the last time he said that they were back?
No, I've not seen it. That was concerning. I was hoping that he was joking, but if that was real, then that's horrible. It's horrible.
I don't know who this is. We got another person trying to call in.
Another bobbler on the bubble?
Yeah, I think it's the ATD 160.
Oh, well, that means that they're not a registered user there, so you'll have to be down in the chat box and let us know what you'd like to talk about there, ATD security. Yeah, we sure do, Eric. We sure do. There's a lot of them, and it doesn't matter who you are. I've been on the side of the road changing a tire and having somebody yell out some stupid crap. Oh.
Well, I'll have to say, living in the suburbs is one of the reasons I moved out here years ago, is because it's fairly, we do have crime out here in this area, but not immediate area, and it's more civilized on the street. But you go into crime in Atlanta. Atlanta's on one of the top 10 in the country with a crime increase the last year.
Well, they just hired a new chief of police, didn't they? So
I don't know. I know they had an interim police chief, but I didn't know if they'd hired a permanent or not. Well, I hope Torch is okay.
Jeez.
Anybody?
Yeah, if somebody could check on him, that would be great.
All right, Dennis Lee, I guess.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Thanks,
okay,
Mike.
Well, you ready for me to lay it down there, Donald Wayne?
What? Or am I ready for you to what?
To do the finals,
You don't even know what to call it.
No, the wrap up.
You want to rap?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, I'll give you the background if you want to do that.
Well, if you want to do some lip hustling there, we can probably make it happen.
We need to do a rap intro. Let's try that.
Okay, I thought you guys were gone. Appreciate it. Oh my goodness, that's going to cost a lot of money. So
yeah, I thought they went home.
Well, they did. Apparently, they were out in the hall. Just a.
Uh-oh. Is that hate speech slightly? I don't know. No, Jess, I don't need a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a vampire now.
I can stay awake I can stay awake longer than the president of the United States.
Yeah, that's right. He can.
And I hope, is that hate speech? I don't think so. It's a challenge.
Bring out the nachos, yeah. You got a spicy pepper waiting on it. Jeez.
Made me want to go down and get some guacamole.
Yeah. Some of that creamy goodness.
I'll do a Dennis Lee and snack while I'm on
Yeah.
the show.
Well, it's hard to do a show
What's that
with
crunching?
What's
that crunching?
A bunch of delicious nuts in your mouth. That's a little difficult.
Oh, I got some nuts up here. They're salted in the shell.
Oh boy. Well.
Yes.
Right. Well, you want me to do the wrap up here, Donald Wayne?
Oh well, just whatever your little heart desires.
Well, for those of you who actually Twitter, then make sure to Twitter us on Trice Talk at WG Moon. You can email us at tricetalk69pts@gmail.com to ask us questions about the show or give us suggestions of things you'd like to hear, or like BPs and pictures. But try to keep them clean. And we're also on Facebook. Make sure to follow us here on Podbean. Hit that follow button, but also follow us on Facebook at Trice Talk, where we post all the shows and all the articles that we use, and there's pictures and whatnot on there as well. And we're also on these following outlets: is Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Pandora, LinkedIn, Listen Notes, and Playa FM. And we are on every Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 10 p.m. in the Eastern Time Zone. And you can also find mini pods on the rest of the days of the week that Donald Wayne puts out. And you have been burning it up with the mini pods, Donald Wayne, and we greatly appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I missed this weekend because of this little technical snafu.
Yeah. Indeed, slightly, indeed. And we aim to give them to you. But really, thank y'all for being here. We love you. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much.
We like, longer ones.
That's not what I heard, Jess, but, it's appreciated.
Are you done?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I actually
Eric, yeah, I'm working on that. Tall Tales will return soon, but it'll probably be sometime in July or August. So, yeah.
Okay, well, I was trying to pick one of these little quotes here to go with, but we appreciate everybody joining us tonight, and especially appreciate all the birthday wishes. It's always a nice feeling to make it through another year, and looking forward to at least another 20 or 30, I guess. I was talking to one of my older relatives today, and that's kind of, we set the goal at 100, so we'll see how that
goes.
Yeah, it was a challenge, more or less. All right, well, I guess I'll just go with this one right here. The closing thought for today is, smile and remember, at the end of the day, your blessings outweigh your problems. I mean, that sounds like a nice one.
That's a good Hallmark card right there. I'll go with that.
Hallmark?
Yeah.
Do we even have Hallmark anymore?
Yeah, we do. We do. I do.
Okay.
I do.
Is it all online now, or do they?
No, they have a Hallmark store right there in the Avenue.
Well, I didn't know if it was still open.
Yeah.
It's because all that stuff that you can buy online now, all the cards and things that you can do online. Okay, well, good. All right. Don't want to put another business out of business. All right, Dennis Lee, I guess we'll be back on Tuesday night. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.
All right, well,
and maybe I can get in both of your ears on Tuesday.
All right, well, I'm going to unscrew this bulb and save it for later. Y'all be safe.
Stay safe, everybody.